Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin Strang coming at you with my regular Sunday night dinner stream. And I'm getting my messenger chat heads going bonkers, so I will look at all that later. I know what all that is going to be. But basically, what they're saying is early happy birthday because on Wednesday is my birthday. I'll be turning 57. So that's what is going to be probably popping up in the comments. So tonight is menu 7. This is one of the newer menus, beef strips in a savory tomato-based sauce. I will expand the title afterwards when I go to put any edits, like when I edit the video, such as make any additional title corrections, because when you're doing this on mobile, you can only put so much in your title, but then afterwards you can expand the title to make it more reflective of what the content actually is. This is packed by Warnick. So I can only guess that this is a 2021. It might be 20, I'm not sure. Or it could be even a 22, because this is a new menu. I've never heard of this menu before. So when I saw it on the Minotaur site, when Bob was selling individual MREs, I jumped on it along with the pizza one. So let's see. I'm gonna go through the chat. Got LC is here. Got Curious Pete. Haven't seen you in a minute. Booger Butt and Booger Butt. One or both, I'm not sure. Probably just one, since it would be a school night, and LJ is probably either doing homework or, he's got to get up early to get ready for school. And Mike Kreischer just dropped in. And I have an additional item. Last week I said I would open up this bar. This is the recovery bar. This is just loose in one of the boxes that I recently got. This is salted caramel marshmallow crisp. Packed by Sterling Foods. It's a 2.2 ounce bar. And there's all the nutritional stuff in there. Pardon the reflection. But I have my water going on the stove. Time to see what is in this bag. Looks like I'm going to have an easier time with this peelable seal than I did the pizza one. So I'm going to move the bar to the side so I can see what is in here. Just checking to see if anyone else had come into the chat. So, first thing out of the bag. Now this is a new item. This is a smoothie. It's a fruit and veggie blend smoothie powder. And it's in the shaker bag, so it makes it easy to prepare. Now this one would be good for a first strike ration, or one of the the MOREs, the Modular Operational Ration Enhancement. This would be a good item for one of those. So it'll be interesting to see what that is all about. I'll go ahead and pull the spoon out, which I save because I use my foreign MRE spork. I'll go and put that there. There is M-Pulse dropping that super chat. That's greatly appreciated. That's 30 euros. The accessory pack is very minimal. Again, the same. The salt is apparently no longer in the tan packets. That would be the same color as the Lighthouse rear roll. I'll still go ahead and open that. It's separate. We got chocolate pudding. There is CT in the house. Thanks for dropping in. So this is in one of those same pouches that you can just pull that off and you could suck it right out of the pouch. There is the FRH, Flameless Ration Heater. Then here is a retort with the main. M-Pulse is here. So this will go into the kitchen. White wheat snack bread. And it feels like a fairly thick one, the normal thickness of those. Got peanut butter. Oh, blackberry jam. There is Foreign MRE dropping that $10 super chat, saying hi to everybody. Thanks for dropping in. Art and Ornina. Nation MRE info is here. Thanks for dropping in. Actually, I'm going to see if I can show a date code. Here we go. Here is a date code from the wheat snack bread. This is 2 is the first digit. So this means this is 46th day of 2022 when this one was packed. So this is not even a year old yet. So this is packed in February of 22. Here is the info sleeve for both the main and the chocolate pudding. Then on the other side, they put the stuff vertically instead of going this way. All this usual stuff. See, here is a bigger example of the date code. 64th day of 2022. Peppermint candy rings, also known as Lifesavers, and they are the individually wrapped kind. And that is it for the bag. So I will use this as a trash bag as usual. But I will not eat these. I'll open them, but Lifesavers are the kind of candies that I store for long term. Now we will, so in other words, there is no coffee in here. No coffee, no other cold drink, just a smoothie. So I don't know what's up with that. But I have a cup here and I got a pot of water for a hot drink. So in the accessory pack, you get the Lighthouse rear roll. You get matches from DD Bean and Sons. Spicy tuna rolls is here. These are white tip. I don't know what the color of the tip means. This is the peppermint gum. So you get two mint things. You get the peppermint gum and you get the Lifesavers candy. And this big bag for maybe like 10 pieces. You get a wet wipe and a salt. Apparently they're going to a different supplier for the salt because it is in this packaging that you would expect to see from a commercial food company that does food service work for restaurants, office cafeterias, schools, hospitals, houses of worship that use such suppliers. Like my mosque gets stuff from Cisco, SYSCO, which is a food service food purveyor. So I'm getting these out of the way because I am not going to use those, obviously. So when I have a cold drink, normally I go ahead and drink this first. Now I may go ahead and prepare this. This calls for a standard 8 ounce of water, and there's a fill line here. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare this in the pouch. But I'm going to let it sit in the pouch after I mix it, instead of immediately pouring it into my drinking jar, which is right here. I can definitely smell the fruitiness. So it's not up to the fill line. The fill line is there, the water is, but I do it this way because I want to give more room to shake it. So I zip it and then I roll the top a couple of times. So I'm just going to leave it like that. I won't add the rest of the water yet. I'm going to let it sit there. Now I'm going to go throw this into the pot. And I am going to get a coffee. I'll be right back. I have this French vanilla cappuccino. Or nope, I grabbed the wrong one. I grabbed the great drink. So CT is off the hook for tonight. That is. So there is a French vanilla cappuccino powder, and this is wanting to, the weight of this phone wants to weight this down, so I just make an adjustment. So there we go. Now I will go get the water and mix the coffee, and then I will finish up with the smoothie. I just took the kettle back into the kitchen. There is my cappuccino in the 4 MRE mug. I'm just going back through the chat to see if I missed anyone coming in. Gear Grinding 19 is dropped in. Looks like I'm caught up on people coming in. So again, I apologize for any slight weirdness from my phone mount movements. I just shook up the smoothie a bit more. I will go ahead and put a little bit more water in here since I didn't put the full amount. Now that I added more water to it, I can pick up a bit more of the veggie scent. Now this stuff is really, really orange. And it left a bit of stuff behind, so there we go, that'll do for that. It looks a lot like what you think carrot juice would look like. So that is a smoothie. Now I'll go ahead and start opening everything else. The one piece of the snack bread. It's the white wheat snack bread, so it's a little lighter in color. Now this is that new recovery bar, and it is inside of another package. It is inside this thin commercial grade silver foil pack, which is easy to open. It looks like a cross between a Rice Krispie bar and a granola bar. I might even keep this packet out here, so now I am going to open up this pudding and I'm going to pour it here. And this is something that you would find in a First Strike ration or one of the Moores, because it is designed to be eaten on the run. This is not the caffeinated pudding like you would find in those rations, but it would be something similar. So that gets the pudding out. Now, instead of using the peanut butter with the bread, there's James Ortiz here. DeCarlos Perry is here. Great job with the Hunger Buster ration. At least the first part of it. If you haven't seen that video that DeCarlos did, you have to go check that out. I went ahead and cut the top off of the pouch that the Lifesavers are in. Again, I am not going to eat any of these. We all know what these are like, but I just want to show them that they're individually wrapped. So 1, 2. Yep, I was right. There are 10 of these in here. I'll just leave one out. And I'll just kind of leave them off to the side here. But the wheat snack bread, I'm actually going to do something with. See these lines here, almost where they're perforated? That part broke, but I'm actually breaking them at these lines where these holes are. Because I have an idea with this main. In fact, I'm going to break these even more. I'm going to pour the main on top of the bread. Yeah, the yeast extract is simply Vegemite, and then there's another version called Marmite, and I have a video comparing the two. You'd have to dig back into my video library to see that, but that is there. I did a comparison between the two. I like both of them. Some people take to the Vegemite really fast like I did. And I have no Aussie in me. I am not an Aussie. I'm a Polska. Prepping Life, my Iowa brother. Long time no see. What you're looking at is a 2022 US MRE Menu 7 beef strips and savory tomato sauce. I'm about to get that out of the kitchen and bring it here. And then I added the new recovery bar. So basically, it's an enhanced version of a Rice Krispie bar, and it's a lot denser than a Rice Krispie bar. So I will get that, and I'll be right back. I am back. I just use this thing to carry it from the kitchen to here. It's just part of my cookware set that I've had since college in the mid-'80s. So I'm just drying the pouch off so it's easier to handle. I just took it out of the boiling water. Since the tear notch goes across this way, I shake the food down so that when I tear it, it's not going all over the place. Didn't quite rip all the way across, but that's okay. It was close enough. I can just reach up in there with my spork and knock the rest of it down. Now this looks a lot like pasta sauce, at least in color. And I use the ration bag as my trash bag. So this is a beef strip. It's somewhat processed. And then cut into these bite-sized pieces. I think that should give you a look at the texture. I'm trying to get that. The sauce does not taste like your canned spaghetti sauce, which can be a bit on the sweet side. So this is a true savory sauce. I can tell that there are some herbs in it. But there is a fair amount of sauce here, which is why I wanted to pour it over the wheat snack bread. Now, again, this is a fruit vegetable smoothie. I can definitely taste a bit of the carrot. But it seems to have settled a bit, so I'm going to give it a mix. Yeah, it looks like carrot juice, but a smoothie should be a little bit thicker. This is just a little bit thicker than an actual fruit drink. I can taste that there is a blend of fruits and veggies in there, but it is not like V8 at all. It doesn't have the color of V8. V8 looks more like tomato juice because tomato juice is the main juice, whereas this, I think, carrot is the main juice. So it's not as thick as I would think a smoothie would be. So I would just call it a fruit and vegetable drink. And this ration did not come with a coffee, so I got that French vanilla cappuccino that I had received. I think it was in the pizza MRE, but because I had that, or no, the Bill's Brew was in the pizza MRE. I didn't drink that because I had that coffee eggnog, but I got the French vanilla cappuccino, I guess, loose in a box. So I just went and got that. And then this recovery bar came separate from the ration. Yep. Yeah, Pumpkin is sleeping right now. She still likes to sniff my feet. Yeah, thanks for dropping in, CT. Catch you on the flip side. But I still tell her that she is still your girl, even though she's living with me. I still want her to know that. So I'm going to taste this sauce on the bread. The bread really soaks up the sauce. And that's kind of what I was going for. This needs no additional salt at all. It's plain salty. This is basically a tomato version of the hot beef sandwich that I had grown up with. And but that's basically a beef gravy on top of the bread, and then in between the two slices of bread you have a mound of mashed potatoes, and then the beef in the gravy, you pour that all over the top of the bread and the potatoes. And that's what we used to call a hot beef sandwich. Some of your smaller restaurants or just local diners might have that. And I did that with ration components probably, I think, 2, 3 years ago, I think. So that was neat to be able to do that. But this sauce definitely takes care of the dryness that even the fresh snack bread would otherwise have. And so the peanut butter and jelly, I will simply save for another time. And this blackberry jam is something that you do not see very often in the MRE, so I'm actually glad to have it. I've had it once and I really enjoy it, so it's awesome to get another one to add to my stash. I'm going to take a drink of the cappuccino. The MRE cappuccinos are pretty good. They're not commercial quality, but they're really good morale booster that the soldier in the field would enjoy having. Pudding tastes just like the Jello pudding that you get in those little cups or that you would make on your own. It doesn't quite have the same flavor as the caffeinated one. I think you can taste the caffeine in that one. And it tastes exactly the same as the halal chocolate pudding. I'm guessing the only difference would be the milk may have come from cows that it may not have been treated with certain things. I don't know. I don't know the difference between the halal puddings unless they use. The only other thing I can think of is if gelatin is used in a pudding, then the halal puddings would have the beef gelatin in it. Now this is that recovery bar. Salted caramel marshmallow crisp. You can't see individual marshmallows in this, but you can definitely taste the salted caramel or caramel. I call it caramel. Some call it caramel. But you can definitely taste that. So, like a Rice Krispie bar, unless you add additional marshmallows right before you form it, you really don't see the marshmallow. But you can taste the presence. But the salted caramel is a predominant flavor, and I think that's what they're going for. But even though it's denser, it's not as dense as the First Strike bars. Good night. Have a good night. And that is Prepping Life. Jeep Things was a channel that he had. Now it's Prepping Life, and he's been pretty busy with work, and You know, the usual stuff when you're raising kids. But he loves Jeeps of a certain year range. And he took one and did a zebra stripe on it, which is totally cool how he did that. And then I saw a city bus that looked almost like that, so I shot a picture and sent it, posted it and then tagged him in it. And he thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, this salted caramel recovery bar, I think this will be a hit. Yeah, adding the bread to this, get this thing to focus again. Adding the bread to this is definitely the way to go. So if you get this menu, you might want to try this. Now, it would be nice if there was some potato or some like bigger pieces of veggies in here. I think that would be pretty good. As far as this smoothie, it needs to be a little bit thicker, so either they need to add more powder or call for less water. Because it's not quite there for a smoothie as far as the consistency. It's a little thin. I am kind of curious why there is no coffee in this particular MRE. I don't know if it was a deliberate decision not to put it in, or if it was completely left out by accident. But the main itself, I like it. I think this one will be a pretty big hit. It's not bland. The tomato sauce is actually savory. So I'm assuming the lifesavers were just put in just for calories and for sugar, since even though there's chocolate, the chocolate pudding. So maybe these are just put in for, extra calories, and the fact that there is no other sugared component. That would be my guess. The beef strips are processed pretty much in the same way that they were for the Asian style beef strips and the barbecue beef strips. They're just processed enough so that they would be easy to chew, but not look like formed ground beef and then compressed into these bigger chunks. You definitely know you're getting real beef. That one even had a piece of fat on it. I guess most of the time those pieces of fat would be cut away, and who knows what's done with that. Let's see, Dave decided to get out of here too, so good night to him. Sorry I missed that. I hope my chat doesn't go bonkers like I did last Sunday where it just wasn't showing up at all. And all of a sudden it just exploded. And I missed seeing one of the 3 super chats. I saw 2, but I didn't see the third, so. So I saw both of them tonight, so that's cool. And I thank both senders for that, so. Yeah, someone wanted some tacos. I can't help with that. I got ground venison, but it's in my freezer. But that would definitely make some good tacos. There is Mad Dog in the house. That's okay. You're still here in time to see all the food before I eat it all. This is a 2022 Menu 7 beef strips and savory tomato based sauce packed by Warnick, so there's no date code on the outside. So I look to the individual items to see the date code. So this is a fruit and vegetable smoothie, but it's a little thin. That's just like a fruit and vegetable cocktail drink. That's pretty much what that is. It's not bad, but it's not a smoothie. It's just not thick enough. There was no coffee, so I got a French vanilla cappuccino. This is chocolate pudding. And the beef strips got poured over the top of the wheat snack bread, which I broke up. And 10 lifesavers in this. Peppermint. So because I used the wheat snack bread as a base underneath the beef, I'm not eating the peanut butter or, head upside down, this blackberry jam. And then this is a new bar. Salted Caramel Marshmallow Crisp Recovery Bar. And you can definitely taste the salted caramel. That somewhat covers up the taste of the marshmallow flavor. But it's not too hard. It's easy to bite into. But this tomato sauce is actually savory. And it's, at least for my palate, it's seasoned just right. Not too salty. And speaking of salt, this is the same salt packet that was in the cheese pizza MRE. It's the same packet that the crushed red pepper is in. So this is one of those food service packets. That's what it looks like to me, that the company that makes this uses a smaller packet than the tan packets that is known to be in the MREs. But it's packed by Diamond Crystal. Might not be able to see that on here. It's pretty small. So they probably supply packets like this to other places where you would have these single serve condiment packets, such as workplace cafeterias, schools, hospitals. Any place like that. Maybe your larger houses of worship that might do frequent meals, and they would want to have these individual packets, or restaurants. I'm guessing that's what this company does. So I don't know if this is a company, if this is a new thing for all MREs, not just Warnick packed. So this is only the second time I've seen this packet style for the salt and, of course, the crushed red pepper. So you don't even let's see. You don't see the picture of a pepper on that packet like the old ones did. This packet does not even say how much is in it. Like the old one, it would say how many grams were in the salt packet. This one doesn't. I guess they don't want you to know that. Sorry, LCU. The only one who could kick you out would be the AI or your connection. But I'm glad you got back in. That's happened to me a number of times. I get kicked out. Not just out of the stream, but out of the browser entirely, and I would have to restart it. At least when I've been in a chat. I think there have only been a couple of times where even if I have plenty of battery life on my phone and the power bank that is plugged into, if I have a hard break in my internet connection and it's not just a momentary blip, I would have to, or the phone just wants to crash. That's happened. I would have to start up on another device. So I've had to do that a couple of times with the streams, but okay, that is weird. So weird you would get kicked into something like that. There is CR in the house. Thanks for dropping in. So, if for some reason you see someone saying happy birthday or you go through the chat later when it's on replay, they're saying that because my birthday is on Wednesday. So, CR, this is a 2022 new Menu 7. And it's real beef, savory tomato sauce, just like it says. It's not lying. I would definitely get this one again. I'll tell you, it definitely does not need any more salt. I took the wheat snack bread, broke it up, and then poured the beef and the sauce over it. So the bread would absorb the sauce and kill that dryness that this wheat snack bread is known for. So the peanut butter and blackberry jam will get saved for another day. And this very orangey stuff is supposed to be a smoothie. But as you can tell, it's not thick like you would think a smoothie would be. But it's still not bad. Now, to me, V8 is closer to a smoothie consistency than this stuff. I mean, with a smoothie, you want to have a little bit of texture from the ingredients. You don't want it to be a total liquid. Yeah. Of course, my phone is on a flexible mount. And because this phone is heavier than my old Samsung, which I still have, I haven't been able to find a replacement that will accept the old SIM card, which is wider than the slots of the other phones that I have. I might try it. Yeah, so I can't use it in the old LG Phoenix 3 because that SIM card is now in this Revel 5G. So this Revel will replace that LG. Yep, that is true. And you get peppermint lifesavers. Of course, we all know what these are about, so I'm not even going to bother opening any of these. I store this type of candy for long term, so I will simply transfer these to that container where I have these and simply add these to those other ones. You know, these types of candies will not melt like a chocolate or like a Jolly Rancher or the Fruit Lifesavers. Of course, now Lifesavers makes an orange one that is like this, so that one will not melt because it's made in the same way that this is, just the orange flavor instead of the mint. So this is the kind of candy that I store for long term. Like the Smarties. Well, we call Smarties what other places they would call rockets, those little tiny discs that are not much bigger than the Lifesaver's whole. Or, you know, the Tic Tacs. You know, those are ones that I store. Some of the other hard mints, I have those as well. Yeah, you know, if you just suck on it instead of just chomp on it, yeah, they will last quite a while, just like the Altoids. And I do have Altoids as well. Plus, you can always reuse those tins once you do eat the Altoids. But this is a new bar. Yep, I remember those. Yeah, you can still get the sucrets in the tin. I have one of those. But those are a sore throat lozenge as opposed to just a candy like this or the Altoids. But those tins are very handy to have. In fact, I use an Altoids tin to keep my cough drops in that I carry in my purse. In fact, that tin would probably be worth quite a few dollars on eBay because it's the honey Altoids. You can't find those hardly anywhere unless you look online. So I've been using that tin for my cough drops. So maybe I should stop using it and switch to another one. Angry Blacksmith is here. Thanks for dropping in. So this savory beef in a tomato sauce, it's actually pretty good. And I poured it over the wheat snack bread, which I tore up into smaller pieces. So I still have the peanut butter and the blackberry jam. I'll save those for another time. Chocolate pudding is your typical. But the other new thing is this smoothie. Well, it's not really a smoothie because it's not a puree. It was all liquefied and then powdered. So you don't have that smoothie consistency. And the 8 ounces of water, it's actually thinner than the V8. It's thinner than regular tomato juice. But it has that flavor of a fruit vegetable juice blend. It just is not the smoothie consistency. Now, those smoothies that you get in a newer humanitarian daily rations in the salmon pink bag, now that is a smoothie consistency. And that is what you would expect from a smoothie, would be something like that. This is just a fruit and veggie drink. And there's no coffee in here, so I got a French vanilla cappuccino. And this new recovery bar. It's like a denser version of a Rice Krispie bar, but not so hard that it's hard to bite into. But you taste the salted caramel. It dominates over the marshmallow flavor. But yeah, I like it. I'm interested to see what other flavors will be done in this. And this is the salt. Same packet as in the cheese pizza MRE. I would definitely get this one again. I would just like to see this smoothie either have more powder and use the same amount of water, or cut the water and might make it a little thicker. That would be something to experiment with. Use less than the 8 ounces that are called for. So I wonder what 6 ounces would do. It'll be very interesting to try this again, but with 6 ounces of water. But for a fruit and veggie drink, yeah, that does work for that. I just wouldn't call that a smoothie. Yeah, I went and pulled the smoothie bag back out. Oh, mango and pineapple. Yeah, carrot. Yeah, but no veggie. Just says, see, vegetable. Where's the only veggie in there would be the rice syrup, the corn fiber, and that's it. All the rest of these are fruit ingredients. Well, the carrot. Yeah, that's the only other real veggie in here. But yeah, it's all powdered. So you're not getting that puree consistency that you would think a smoothie would have. I don't know if I would be doing a birthday stream. That might be an idea. Yeah, my birthday is on Wednesday. So I could do that. Yeah, exactly. Rice is a grain. But it's processed in a way that any moisture that's extracted from it is boiled down to make the syrup, just like when you boil down maple or birch sap that is closer to this consistency when it comes out of the tree. You'll boil that down till it becomes thicker, and then you get that syrup consistency. So corn syrup is done the same way. The corn is processed, the moisture is boiled down to get that consistency that they want, and then it's further processed down to the powder. So the juice concentrates are powdered, the syrup that's all powdered. Yeah. See, honey in its natural form as it comes out of the hive is already thick. But when it gets warm, it becomes a little more viscous. So it flows faster. And when it gets cold, or over time, it can crystallize, but crystallized honey is perfectly fine. In fact, some people prefer it because that would be like eating candy. And then honey can also be powdered. And I do have honey powder in my food storage. But I might do a birthday stream. I don't have any special birthday meal. I didn't buy myself a gooey butter cake. I ordered some Olite products as my birthday present to myself. I'm waiting for those to come in. But I do have that brown bag corned beef hash. And then I have the additional, the chocolate covered cookie bar that was loose in the box that I won from Nation MRE Finds. No, see, when honey is powdered, it can be used as an ingredient in a dry mix. It can also be stored in less space than honey in its normal consistency. It weighs less because all of the liquid is removed. Yeah. Yeah, honey will last indefinitely, provided it's not contaminated. And that was proven by some archaeologists who got into an Egyptian tomb to do some cataloging and archiving, examining the items inside. And they found a honey jar that was perfectly sealed. And they broke the seal, opened it up, and they sampled it. 5,000 plus year old honey. And those people actually ate some of it. So I could open up that corned beef hash. Now remember, the bag had one corner where the plastic had literally gone brittle and broke, and I found pieces of it in the box. And so I took all of the items out, and there was a little bit of stickiness on the accessory pack and the grape jelly packet, but I cleaned those off, and I checked the jelly packet to see if there was any kind of a pinhole. Nothing squeezed out, so I'm assuming something got in through that hole and somehow landed on the accessory pack and the jelly packet somewhere along the line, because it was fairly easy to clean off. And it had one of the white MCI spoons, not one like this, because it's an early brown bag, since it does not have the big number on the side. Or it'd have the number, see, like this, sideways, but in a bigger, it just looked bigger and a thicker font that was used. It didn't, that bag does not have that. But everything else in there looks pretty fine. There's no staining on the box that has the main in it. I did not open the accessory pack because it was perfectly sealed. So I will definitely be able to at least open everything up in there. I would heat up the corned beef hash. Now, if the coffee in there is a type 1, I'll be thoroughly stoked because that is my favorite MRE coffee of the US MREs. Type 2 is second. Type 3 is third. A Bill's Brew, yeah, that's a passable instant coffee, but I would take the Chilean Daft coffee over that one any day. That's my favorite instant coffee out of the foreign rations. I think, let's see, the one, I think the type 2 is, one is the type 2 and the type 3. One of them is your standard freeze dried, and then the other one is spray dried, which is a different process. But the type 1, I think, is more of a formula, the blend. And I think it was a bolder, it's a bolder flavor than the type 2 or type 3. I can figure that much out. That's about all I know. Oh, since I have this bar, you know how caramel and chocolate go well together. Well, that works. You know, chocolate and caramel go together. And sometimes you will find more of a gourmet chocolate that is salted a little bit. But yeah, this definitely works. In fact, I'm going to do it again. And for those who do bake, you have to have a little bit of salt in your baked goods. I'm not sure what it does, but it does something to probably improve flavor. Yeah, see, again, that would be something else. I just bit off the bit that still have some of the pudding on it. But there are coffee flavorings that do have a caramel in it. The vanilla kind of covers up the caramel, but it brings up the marshmallow flavor a little bit. Obviously, it softens it up, but it does mask the salt flavor. But I think the pudding is a better way to go. Yeah, I'm not one for anything salty in coffee. Although I have heard of people putting a tiny bit of salt in their coffee that's supposed to take out the bitterness. That's just something that I'm not interested in doing. I'd rather do this. Because I have not opened the accessory pack and that corned beef hash MRE, I don't know what kind of coffee is in there. And I have yet to receive a rare roll with the blue TP in it, because all the ones that I have opened up have been the white ones. I wouldn't mind getting hold of one of those that is blue instead of the white. I have the older ones where the whole wad is completely wrapped up in this outer paper, but I don't have any of the blue ones. Well, James, I'd try. Yeah, I've been prepping for a few years. But it's an ongoing thing. You're constantly adding things, changing things. I have all kinds of lights here. Most of them Olights. I'm not sure who you mean by M. Yeah, see, I would like to be able to better organize all of my wet canned foods, but I don't have the proper shelves for that. But all of my dry canned foods, like my freeze dried dehydrated foods, I got my space under the bed full. I also have pasta under there. But I don't have a pantry, so I can't just store all that in one room. I have to spread it out. And I have other items that I brought from my previous residence where I lived. I had an additional room there that, had I stayed there, that could have been my where I had all that extra storage, but the walls are slanted. So I could not run shelves up closer to the ceiling I would have to have them custom built in order to accommodate the angle of the wall because of the way the top floor was, the way it was built. Whereas here I could do that. But I use buckets for all of my bags. Then I have other buckets that I have spices in. I got different size buckets. I got a bunch of lids, but I need more buckets for them. I was given a bunch of lids, more lids in the buckets, but and I also store water. I don't have anything bigger than like a 6 gallon jug because, for one thing, a gallon of water weighs over 8 pounds. I'm not sure how much that is in kilograms. Maybe about 20 kilograms. I'm not sure. But I prefer to store my water in something like that, or an empty juice bottle. An empty sauce jar, like a snack jar, anything like that. You thoroughly clean it out, and then you can use it for storage. And then I just spread them around my apartment, like my creamer containers, my powder coffee creamer containers. I have filled those. And then I have empty laundry detergent jugs. I don't rinse them out. I just fill them up with water. And then that dilutes the residual laundry detergent that's in there down to a level that's good for hand washing. In fact, I recently used a small bottle that I quote unquote borrowed out of the laundry room that had some residual laundry detergent in there. I used that along with water that I just filled up that little bottle with water a few times, enough to fill my my small mixing bowl that I use specifically for hand washing small items. Or I've used it for dumping water in the toilet when I have to gravity flush it. I used that, and that provided just enough detergent to wash all my wool socks. And I just basically took all of the goods out of that little laundry detergent bottle. And then after I emptied it, I returned it back to the trash in the laundry room. Now, some people will not bother to try to get as much of that laundry detergent out of those bottles or jugs. Well, the laundry room used to have a sink before the building reno back in 20 and 21. So there was not a sink put back in there. So people could not do larger loads of hand washing unless they did it in their tubs or in a larger bucket. Like I have a 10-gallon bucket in my bathroom cabinet that I use for storage. But if I need to do a larger load of hand washing, I would just dump everything out onto my bed and then use it for doing that hand washing, and then let it dry, and then reload that bucket and put it away. That's okay, Elsie. There's always another time. Yeah, hopefully that's just a false alarm with the dog barking. And not something major that, has really got your dog going bonkers. But for some people, their dog is part of their personal security or their home security. They hear the dog barking, and they investigate to find out if it's just another animal, if it's just a small animal, or if it one that could be a danger to themselves or their property or their other animals, or if it's something worse. Or sometimes a dog has alerted people to smoke or fire in their home. And I've heard of cats doing that too. But I live next to a woman who has a half German Shepherd, half Siberian Husky. Handsome boy. And he's a lover. But I have no doubt that that dog would put his life on the line to defend his person. There are other dogs on my floor. Plus there are dogs on the first and third floors. So there's something going on. Those dogs will let us all know. And because of where I'm at in the building, I can look out my bedroom window or my living room window, my slider, or I can go across the hall and look out that way. We don't have cameras here, although there has been noise about getting cameras installed, but we don't have that yet. It would be nice because I had an Amazon package stolen while I was at the mosque last Friday. Not this past Friday, but the Friday before. And so I had to contact Amazon. And the first person would only offer me a refund, and I said, no, I don't want a refund. I want the items I ordered. Because if I was only after a refund, I wouldn't spend my money in the first place. But then that person transferred me to another person, who then transferred me to a third person, who set up the new order, and I got it delivered So I have those items to show in my January shopping haul. I looked those items over. Nothing damaged. So I didn't have to contact them again. Now another set of items I ordered from Amazon. 5 came undamaged. 1 came dented. I had a feeling they wouldn't replace just the one item. Even though when I told them about the stolen package, I told them about the 1 can that was dented, but not damaged where it wouldn't be usable at all. It was just a side dent. I said, well, I'll just eat that one right away. And so I did. So instead of 6 cans of that food that I will show, I will have 5. But that's still 5 more than what I had before I placed that order. But that was better than a person in one of the other messenger chats I'm in, where this person ordered 6 items, all 6 cans damaged. Some of them possibly not usable at all. So I commented back that, yeah, maybe proper packaging is too much, it takes too much time away and could possibly get that packer into trouble for not packing enough boxes. You know, it would not let them meet their quota. I said something to that effect, and the others, some of them agreed that that's probably the case. You know, when I'm in Walmart and I'm seeing, I'll just call them blue shirts. I see those blue shirts running around with those carts that have the blue bins. They're just grabbing stuff off the shelves and dropping them in the bins. Because they want to get those pickup orders all collected and bagged up for the customers. They want to get those done as fast as possible, regardless of who else is in those aisles trying to find stuff they're after. Thanks for dropping in, Mike. Yeah, and now Amazon is cutting several thousand jobs worldwide. I don't know if those are office jobs or if they're warehouse management jobs or what. Or if they are packer jobs where people are going to the shelves, grabbing products to put into boxes to ship out or to hand off to Amazon delivery drivers. Yeah, I have no idea what kind of jobs are being cut, or they're just letting go their temp hires who were hired to handle the holiday rush, so to speak. Yeah, I don't know too much about that. But there is a lot of noise of going to more automation. For jobs like that, where robots will pick the items and drop them into the boxes. Oh, that was very, very short disconnect. Oh, that's okay, CR. That's about 7 minutes to 9 Central. It'd be 7 minutes to 10 Eastern. But yeah, I don't have AT&T as a service, but my H2O wireless does piggyback off of AT&T networks. I'm going to scroll back up here. I want to see what this. But again, I'm running off of my Wi-Fi. And my Wi-Fi is Mediacom. There is Shadow Scout Suite in the house, Storms Radio and Cats. So you're catching me at the tail end. I've eaten most of the food. But this is 2022 pack. It's a new US MRE Menu 7. And then I added a new recovery bar. I don't know if it will replace the first strike bar, will just be an additional option. It's a salted caramel marshmallow crisp. So basically, it's an enhanced, slightly denser version of a standard Rice Krispie bar. Not as dense as a first strike bar, which just has a little bit of the Rice Krispies bits in there. This one looked just like a Rice Krispie bar, but denser. And it was inside of an inner wrapper, not just kind of stuck in there. I think they did that. See how clean that is in there. Because the bar was inside of another wrapper. And I'm assuming that's to make it easier to get out. It just means an extra step for the person out in the field who would be eating that bar. But it doesn't take much to open what's basically a commercial weight candy bar wrapper or a protein bar wrapper or anything like that. Very thin. Not as thin as a Pop-Tart wrapper, but you know, say like you're opening an M&M's packet or a Snickers bar wrapper. It's basically that thick or that thin. And then this orange drink here, it's supposed to be a smoothie, but Everything was concentrated, liquefied, and then powdered, so you don't have the texture or the thickness of a smoothie. But the only vegetable in here is carrot juice. Yeah, it has mango in it, it has pineapple. But the only vegetable juice in there is carrot. Now there's some rice syrup in there, some corn extract, but again, that's all powdered to make it easy to mix, but you don't get the smoothie consistency. You get a can of V8 or even a tomato juice, that's closer to a smoothie consistency than this is. And I mix it with the 8 ounces of water. If I had this again, I would try mixing it with 6 ounces, see if that would make it any thicker. Thanks for dropping in, CR. But the main entree, this savory tomato sauce that the beef strips were in, was truly a savory sauce. And I could taste that it was salty, so I did not need to add any salt to it. I wouldn't have anyway. But the salt packet is the same as it was for the cheese pizza MRE, one of these. It looks like a food service supply company packet. And not one with the same color packet as this. But there's no coffee in this MRE, so I got a French vanilla cappuccino. But this new recovery bar was separate in a box that I got. It was not included in the MRE, but I said last week that I would open this, so I did. And then these are peppermint lifesavers, individually wrapped. There are 10 of them. I just have the others still in here. I'm not going to eat any of these because these are the type of candies that I store for long term. So that's what I will do with those lifesavers. I will transfer those to my container that I have additional lifesavers in. So they will be held for long-term storage. Because, candy is a morale booster. And it could be something that I could either use myself to suck on, or I could use it as a barter item. Or if I was around kids, after the, when, say, after crap hits the fan and things go south, I had those candies that I could either use as a barter item to get something that I need that someone else would offer to trade, or I could just give it to a kid, or just use it myself, or I could share with a group that I would be with. But that's why I store those candies, is because they do not melt like chocolates or Jolly Ranchers or anything like that. But it was suggested that I do a birthday stream. Wednesday's my birthday. So I may go ahead and do that. And I have that corned beef hash MRE. I have been considering saving that one for a Sunday where I'm waiting for some rations to come in, but do not have any because I had used up the ones that I currently have. I've had that MRE 2 other times already. Yep. All my instant coffee packets and my instant drink packets, like the slim sticks that you would use to pour into a water bottle. That would be this capacity. Now this is a double wall bottle, so it looks bigger than it holds. It holds 500 mils of water, or just shy of 17 ounces. You know, one of those drink packets that would be the right amount to fill that. I have those. Plus, they're a nice packable size to put in my camping food bag or in my get-home bag. I even have one in my purse. I have a little bag of stuff like that in my purse. So those little stick packets are nice, small size. So I have a bunch of those stored up. Yeah, different flavors. Some of them are electrolyte drink powders, and some are just different flavors. You know, like different fruit flavors. You know, I like to have a variety of stuff like that. So every time I've gotten some of those, I would put them in Ziploc bags and put them away somewhere where when I need to get at them, I can. So I just may go ahead and bust out that corned beef hash MRE and have that as my birthday dinner. Now, next weekend might be if something my family might want to do, or if my sisters and my mom decide to wait till later in the month, because one of my sisters has a birthday in about a week and a half. And then one of my nephews has a birthday this month, so that may be something for a later day. And we'll just have a single party for all three of us at one shot. Plus all three of my sisters will be working Wednesday. And with my brother up here, he's staying up here for a time, so he got a job, so he will be working. He's not giving up his Arkansas land, he's keeping it. But he had such a hard time finding a job that he could get to because he's currently not driving. Hopefully that will change in the near future where he will feel like that he can get back behind the wheel. He did have a serious accident some time back, and so he can't do some of the kind of work that he used to do. But he's working in an auto parts store, so that's a job that he can do. But I'm probably going to go ahead and kick off pretty soon. Yes. So I can put things away. Like this spoon will go into a Ziploc bag that's full of spoons. I keep all these. I save the matches. I have Ziploc bags that I put the matches in. I save this gum. I'm not a gum chewer, but I do save these because there may be a time where I would need this. You know, I hold on to these. I hold on to the matches. And I hold on to these. So it's things like this that I hold on to because I need to dip into one of these days, either for myself or someone else. And even the flameless ration heaters, I save these. Because one day I might have to do something with this. And if I were to use an older one of these, although with this little amount of salt in here, I would probably have to use 2 of these. Whereas the older salt packets had more salt. That is, actually I could hold that lower. See, this is, so I folded this packet in half, and this is how much salt there is in there. So there is less salt in this packet than there is in the older 10 packets. So yeah, in fact, there are some ration heaters that come with 2 heating elements. Like in some of the Chinese rations, or the retort pouch is sealed inside of the FRH, but on either side is the element. So you have 2 elements in that FRH. And when I got those rations, I used those FRHs, and I'll tell you, those things were like rockets in a bag. And that's the reason why they give you those insulator bags, which I still have. I have those 3 foam bags that they slip the FRH in. And I have used those in the past. Yeah, see that's why I save these, because if things go south and I need to heat up a small food item, but without giving off any cooking smell, I could do that either by wrapping the FRH around the item if I couldn't fit it in the bag. Of course, I have FRHs that have bigger bags like the foreign ones that I have, or some of the commercial rations have the bigger bags. Or I could just take the pad out, stick it in a bigger bag like this, and do it that way. And the first time that I volunteered at the multicultural powwow, which I've been going to for a few years, it was not held in 2020 because of the big nasty. But then it started up again in 21, so I went. But in 2019, when I first volunteered, or was it 2018, one of those, the first time I did, I kind of just fell into it when I was asked to take over the kids' craft area. Well, the one woman who was working it at the time got some dinner. So, I said, yeah, sure, I'll hang. So I did. And it was at the state fairgrounds. So when it was done for the day, I could just hop a bus and go home. So when she came back, I stayed and helped her. And so I said, well, I'd like to do this tomorrow if you need the help. She said, yeah, sure. So what I did was I had, I think, a halal beef something, or halal chicken and vegetables or something like that. I just had the retort pouch. I had an MRE bag and the FRH. So I used this to heat up that retort pouch, and I stuck it inside of here in the MRE bag. And because it was a hot day that day, see, I did not know that the volunteers could go to a certain area and get a meal, so I just brought mine with me. So because it was already a hot day, this thing got so hot that it literally fused to the MRE bag, but I could still get the retort pouch out of this. But yeah, I used this to heat up my food that day. But it's for occasions like that, or in the, here in my apartment, I could heat up something and no one would be the wiser. Because they wouldn't hear my isobutane gas stove running. If the power was out, if it was just too nasty to go out onto my deck and use either my white gas stove or my twig stove, or if I just wanted to be discreet, not let anyone know that I had more supplies than what they might think. Of course, who knows, my neighbors hear me talking when I'm doing these videos, but the average person on the street would not know. Or if I just, I would use this at that time. If I had the Denchimore or the Hormel Completes, I'll get the FRH going and stick one of these underneath it, stick the other one on top. Yep, that's what I would do. Or if I use one of my beverage bags, I save all the beverage bags. See, this MRE did not come with a beverage bag either because of the shaker pouch that this is in. There's no coffee, so I guess they saw no need to put a beverage bag in there because it wouldn't be used because this is the powder for this is already in a shaker pouch. You know, I have friends who are in the military, so they know about these. So if I wanted to barter with any of them, I said, "Yeah, I got some ration heaters. If you need to heat up a small item, then I would trade this, or just give it to you, Yeah, they know about these things. So some militaries of some countries, they don't have these, so they would have to heat their food in another way. I've yet to have a Swedish ration. I have been wanting to get my paws on one, but that has not happened yet. The ones that I've seen here on YouTube look very, very awesome. I would love to get a hold of one. But maybe one of these years I'll get it. But yep, that's why I save these things for sometime in the future when I may have to rely on one of these for one reason or another. Yeah, I really do hope I get a hold of one, but getting foreign rations here in the U.S. is getting a lot harder because of the customs rules. And the last time I ordered a French ration, it got raided by customs, and they even took the little tiny foldable spork that was inside the stove kit box. They took the two large 300-gram oval cans. There was a pate in there, like a chicken pate. They took that. They left me with the little bars, the drink, the cold drink powder, the little packet that has the coffees, the teas, the cocoa mix, and the sugar, the salt and pepper. They left me that. They left me the dessert. They left the stove kit box, but not the little foldable spork. That's only about that long when it's open anyway. They left a tissue packet. They left the crackers. And that's it. And I sent the pictures of the adulterated box to the seller, but I never got any response. But the last time I ordered a Polish ration, I got the wrong ration, but it came unopened. There, there's an additional, there's a French main in there. That one was not taken. It was a pork one, so I gave that to someone else. But yeah, it can be hit or miss with getting foreign rations into the U.S. And sometimes items that do not contain meat were taken. As I remember, Art and Nina for an MRE, I think they had some items taken out of the Norwegian rations that contain no meat product at all, like a protein bar or drink mix or something like that, were taken out of individual Norwegian rations. And then some others, I think another person had some of the bars taken out of a ration. And everything else left in. And as a test, I ordered a halal MRE that was shipped from Lithuania. I did that because I wanted to see would a US MRE be rated by customs if it was shipped from another country. Well, that one did not get touched. But it used to be a lot easier to get foreign rations into the U.S. without being raided. Of course, CT can bring them in across the border because he drives across the border. He goes all over Canada, he goes all over the U.S., but he keeps rations in his truck, and that's his main food when he's on a road, because he could be on the road for days, and it's just easy to keep rations because he may not always get to a place where he can get food at a truck stop where he has to park for the night, or if he gets there and the restaurant is closed. Or for whatever reason, he keeps rations in his truck. He can bring those across. Yeah, he tells the customs that that's his food. He eats those while on the road. But then he brings a U.S. shipping box, or he gets a U.S. Postal Service shipping box when he wants to ship something to someone here in the U.S. He'll bring it in, not packed in anything else, and then he'll get a box, slap labels on it, and then ship it from a U.S. Postal Service location. That way, the recipient doesn't have to deal with the customs crap. I just hope I don't get him into trouble for saying that, but that's what he's done. For one thing, it costs less to do that, since if he's driving into the U.S., he might as well ship something to someone from a U.S. Postal Service location as opposed to try to ship it from Canada where it would cost an arm and a leg. Or sometimes if he's going to where the intended recipient is close to, he'll just hand deliver. They'll meet up somewhere and he'll just hand it that person. And then they may end up doing a pizza review at some place where, because CT has done, meetups with U.S., people in the U.S., and they'll have a chat in his truck and share a pizza. So he's got videos of these meetups on his channel. But I think I'm going to go ahead and call this good for now. I've eaten all the food. And this smoothie is more of just a veggie fruit drink and not an actual smoothie. Not bad. A tiny, tiny bit of pulp at the end, but that's what's settled out. But that you need more of that pulp to be a real smoothie. You need that texture. But otherwise, it was not bad. I would definitely get this MRE again. And this bar, I think it'll be a hit. I think I'm going to go ahead and call this one good for tonight. I'll have to check to see what my day is going to look like Wednesday. And if I don't have anything going on, and I'm not going to be cutting into anyone else's stream, I may go on at the same time as I normally start on Sundays. Be 8 o'clock Eastern U.S. Of course, that would be in the middle of the night over on the other side of the pond. I'm guessing it's like 3 a.m. in Sweden now. I'm just guessing. It's 9:30 where I'm at now, so I don't know what the time is over there. But for you night owls over there, oh wow, so I was an hour, so it may be an hour like 3:30 in England. That's probably where, I don't have a lot of European time zones. I don't have all those in my head. So okay, so I am 7 behind, and where Emphos is at, it's an hour after. So he's an additional hour ahead. So it would be almost time for him to get out of bed. But I'm going to go ahead and call this one good for tonight. And as I said at the beginning, since this one did not have a date code to tell what year this is from, I will add that to the title after I close out the stream and YouTube is processing it, because I can do that while that's going on. And then I'll just expand the title to be more what the MRE actually is. Because when you're doing titles on the phone for a live stream, you have up to 60 characters, including spaces. So I'll go ahead and fix that. But anyway, do want to thank you all for watching. Again, thanks to Art and Nina and Enfos for dropping those super chats. It's much appreciated. I also have the channel memberships and Patreon, but I don't actively plug those. It's just there in case anyone wants to do it. You know, I don't beg it like some others do. But, you know, they just sit there as options. But anyway, thanks you all for watching. And so if I am going to do an extra live on my birthday, I will go ahead and post up, and it will be that brown bag corned beef hash MRE. And I may go ahead and open up all the other brown packed items that I have. You know, maybe not all of them, because I got 2 packs of crackers. I may go ahead and open up that chocolate covered cookie bar, because I've never opened up one of those. So that's what I would be doing on Wednesday. And if something is not quite right, like the coffee's not right or whatever, I'll go ahead and pull up. I'll have some backup plans at the ready in case I have to go to that. So anyway, if I do go live, I'll post up on Wednesday. It will be the same time. So thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.